Well, even with their soldiers entering a fifth year of war, many Ukrainians haven't given up hope, and ordinary members of society are still rallying to help the war effort where they can. That's the case for Ivan Oleksii, who, along with Roman Hapakchilo, founded Car for Ukraine, a volunteer organization that sources cars, mostly from outside Ukraine, and then upgrades and delivers them to the front lines. They're either transformed into armored vehicles or used for things like food and aid delivery or evacuation of wounded troops. Let's take a look at a clip from the organization.
So we collected a bit more this week and we sent in 7 vehicles to the front line today. I'm gonna run you through each one of them.
We can cross live to Lviv in Ukraine now to speak to Ivan Oleksii. Thank you very much for being with us on France 24. What gave you the idea to start Car for Ukraine? Is it all linked to your line of work before the war started?
First of all, thank you for having me here. Yeah, not really. It wasn't related to this at all. I was more involved in esports and actually working with Team Vitality, one of the most famous French team in CSGO. But yeah, it was mainly the need and the requirements from the front that has become basically the core reason why we decided to work on this project.
And so you were in contact with commanders on the front line and then addressing their needs directly?
Yeah. Basically, as Ukrainians, right, we have a lot of connections and a lot of people reach out to us and ask for the support, including normal soldiers, pilots, as well as some higher commanders who are, for example, planning their resources, they're planning their restructuring, they are maybe scaling their operations from a company to a battalion, from battalion to brigade. And to do it, to grow rapidly, they might need some support, not only from government, but also from ordinary people, including people from France who are just giving up their vehicles and we get it to them.
Yeah, well, tell us more about the kinds of people who are donating their cars. Are they mostly coming from European countries like France or others as well?
Yeah, so mainly the vehicles are coming from the UK, and then goes Germany, Netherlands, and France. France, out of these 4, is the least, and I think it's because we don't speak French. To be honest, I think that's a big boundary for us. That we don't have a communication way to talk to audience within France or maybe Switzerland and Luxembourg or some other Belgium, excuse me. That way we would I think capture more from France. But these are the people, and these are all ordinary people, people who working on a farm or people who have some businesses. We even had a guy from Belgium who is a part of like a monarchy of a pretty wealthy family, and he's just basically designating his life now to helping regular people.
And what about from the United States?
Well, US is quite far away, so it's a bit harder to get the vehicles from the United States, though we had quite a lot of offers. But when it comes to campaigns, so Car for Ukraine basically has 2 lines of how we get vehicles. Is either people donate them directly, or we make a campaign where we raise money for the vehicle. And in terms of donating, US, well, I have to give them credits. They are very active. I would say nearly half of the donations that we get, they come from the US. They're extremely active. So those who care, they care very well, I can say.
Well, tell us more about the process from when you receive these cars. How long does it take you to upgrade them, and how many people are working with you to do this?
Well, so far we have nearly 30 people who are involved on more or less daily basis, though most of them are volunteers. But besides that, we have quite a lot of people as a part of our community from France, from Belgium, from UK, from Germany, from Netherlands. It could be I would say up to 200 people where I have personal contacts of each one of them. If I need to get a vehicle from Denmark, for example, I already have some contacts I can reach out to. It takes about 2-3 weeks to sort of work on vehicles, to fix them, to install armor, we install additional metal plate, and then to very important to service them. So when we give the vehicles to the soldiers, we make sure that they're in a good shape and the guys are sort of can rely on them for quite some time.
Well, as we've been reporting, Ukraine is now entering its 5th year of war with Russia. Do you ever feel fed up?
I think there is a study that is talking about the soldiers on the front line, that the soldiers burn out, in the first, I don't remember, I think it's like 2 or 3 months. So that's after that time you're already like burned and that's it. But we've been through this war for more than 4 years, and at that stage you it's not that you have like a passion and it's driving you. It's more like it's growing into the system and you just adjust to the system and it's just your new normality and you go on. So whether we fed up, I don't know what that means, to be honest, because it's just the way of life for us. There's no way we can, as Zelensky rightfully say, we cannot just, accept any terms just for it to stop, because we've already lost so far. So the opportunity cost for us, speaking in, microeconomics terms, it just doesn't worth it.
For you, at least for a volunteer organization, you're definitely keeping up your efforts. How important are these cars for the front line, for people fighting in Ukraine?
They're vital. Logistics is the cornerstone of the war. If you don't have logistics, you will lose the war. So it started like that at the beginning of the war. We needed more vehicles because we didn't have that many soldiers. Now we need a lot of vehicles because there are FPV drones that are very, very targeted, like very precise, and they destroy quite a lot of vehicles every day on the front line, for which you require more and more resupplies.
And I'd also like to
They are
get...
vital. Like you see on the video you were just showing, is that there was evacuation, like a very good example that when you get shelled and you have like a good 4x4, you get in, you jump in, you get out. Like they literally save lives in many cases. Or like this one is very sensitive, but it was actually from the first few months of the war, was a Toyota Hilux, like a very, very good, reliable beast, with its own legacy. And it's like it's getting people out there and it drives. And
And I'd just like to ask for your personal view on the ceasefire negotiations that are going on. How do you or other people around you see those? Do you agree with President Volodymyr Zelensky's stance?
I would say a lot of talks about this peace negotiation is noise. So it's to show that we're trying something, and sometimes it's like a one-man show when we're trying to make sure that Trump is happy, that Trump sees that everyone is trying. So we're not sort of ignoring his big efforts. And in fact, he does try a lot, but at the end of the day, a lot of it is just, a meeting for the sake of the meeting. And we are not solving the root. The root is a country that has its goal to basically destroy another country. And when another country says, we want to exist, that's a conflict of interest.
Do you feel confident that Ukraine can win the war anytime soon?
I don't know what winning the war actually means in this case. What I am confident of is that we have a good technology backlog. Like we're a pretty smart country. We have a lot of very interesting companies that are working on technology where we can get some edge. And this is like it's like a kinetic energy that we've been, keeping and developing. And at one point it will, it will go out. And at that point we will see a lot of interesting things that our army is doing. that our smart engineers are working on. So I would say we have some potential, we have some momentum that we can still use to our advantage.
All right, Ivan Oleksii, co-founder of Car for Ukraine, thank you very much for your time speaking with us today.